And big thanks to Steelseries and StarCraftSource.com for organizing and sponsoring this event, putting up the money, putting up the prizes, and once again, big thanks to our other, well, big organizer, Toss.ita. And Scanner, you ready? Let's go ahead and get this game started.
Of course, on your countdown.
3, 2, 1, start.
All right, so here we go with our final matchup of the day here between Tarson and Kiwikaki. Kiwikaki is spawning at the lower left here as yellow Protoss yet again, and as red Terran. An amazing comeback here from Tarson, coming from 2 down to tie it up 2-all. This is going to be the final matchup, and the winner of this match gets the point for either Europe or America.
Yeah, Europe is up 2-0 in the series so far, so Kiwikaki needs to win this to get his team on the board. He had a great first 2 games, and the other 2 games he was just outplayed by Tarson. Tarson, of course, one of my more favorite Terrans from Europe, of course.
Well, this is very interesting with the spawn position because as a Terran player, you always want to spawn clockwise of your opponent, i.e. for Tarson, the ideal spawning location would have been up here in the upper left. The reason for that, there's this high platform above the natural expansion with the debris of both players, and you can do a huge amount of drop play onto this upper platform, especially with siege tanks, and just totally deny this position. But with this spawn, with where these players are, that's going to be totally denied, and that can be a huge part of Terran strategy on this map.
Yeah, Protoss is probably going to, if they do expand, probably going to expand out to the front of their base first, depending if he wants to take out those rocks. It really depends on his timing and what he thinks his Terran opponent's going to be doing.
We have our first barracks on the way. First refinery is just about complete. It's about 3/4. Nothing too crazy from either player just yet. First gateway is about halfway done as well over in Kiwikaki's base. If I were Kiwikaki, I'd probably want to get 3 or 4 gate and just do as much pressure as I possibly can, because he's getting stuck in his base again and again for the, well, not again and again, it's happened for the past 2 matches, but he's been essentially forced back into his own base, and in the first 2 matches he was able to counter that, but in the past 2 he just hasn't. There have been far too many siege tanks. I would try to get as much early pressure as he possibly can, and for me that screams 4 gate.
Yeah, 4-gate is an okay opening as long as you can transition into an expansion, because if the 4-gate pressure doesn't kill your opponent, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, especially against Tarson or any kind of Terran that can put up a bunker and learn to expand or defend while expanding. And it looks like, wow, he's putting a factory here, walling off the lower base. This would be because a lot of Protoss players will go ahead and put a proxy pylon here just south of the Vespine Geyser of his forward, the base in front of his, or the expansion in front of his base, and then they can warp units in by the destructible rocks. But now Tarson is walling that off.
Yep, and it looks like this scouting probe has been denied by these 3 Marines. He's even checking with those Marines down by the Vespine Geyser, as you just pointed out, to make sure there's no proxy pylon. Great job there. He now knows where his opponent is and is making his way into the base with a single SCV.
But
will it be able to get some... Yes, and he's going to get some nice scouting capability here. He's going to make his way to the back, but there he goes, killed at the last second.
And did he get to see that second gateway? No, he did not.
No, that just got put up as soon as it died, and I like this 2-gate pressure. He's even doing a robo facility directly behind it. Good build order thus far. And we are going to be going for Hellions, it looks like. Single Hellion, starport on the way. He went straight up 1-1-1 again, other than the add-on of a reactor to his barracks. So he seems confident with going 1-1-1. He's tended to do this for the majority of the matches today.
Tarson massively supply locked right here. He was at 27 out of 27 for about 30 seconds here, and his supply deep was only about, well, 3/4 of the way done now. But it's only going to stop his SCV production and any Marine production. He did get a reactor on that barracks, and just a factory just finished, or sorry, a tech lab just finished on the factory. Going to swap that for the starport and get some Banshees out again, or maybe it's that Quick Raven.
Quick Raven has been pretty popular in the past few matches, and what will he be doing? It is going to be Quick Banshee. Ooh. Banshee's worked for him last match. Hey, why not do it again?
I think Kiwikaki tried to force field and trap that Hellion, but he missed. Really didn't need to throw that down, but he may need that energy later on in the game. We'll have to wait and see.
Robo Bay is on the way again from Kiwikaki. I don't really like the fact that he's going for this robotics bay without really scouting out his opponent's base. As we've been pointing out, many high-level Protoss players have just been tending to go for these Colossi as quickly as they possibly can, and I can't really agree with that choice, as more times than not, it seems that that is their crux. They've spent far too much money going towards those Colossi instead of focusing on those gateway units.
Luckily, this Banshee is going to, luckily this Observer is going to see the Banshee, so he's probably not going to produce a Colossi quite yet. He needs to get some Stalkers out ASAP. He's now focusing down the rocks at the back of his base, so he's not worried about a quick expansion. We're already about 7.5 minutes into the game, and he's just now thinking about expanding. Tarson, on the other hand, still is not, still is not expanded.
Cloak research is about 3/4 complete now. Siege tech has just begun, and it looks like Tarson's just going to be building up his army and waiting for one final push. Oh, very nice job with that scan to take down an observer that was in the base of Tarson.
Yeah, that's a very key job that Tarson's been doing a lot in these past few games, just keeping the scouting of Kiwikaki down to a minimal level. And here comes Tarson's command center almost at the same time as Kiwikaki's Nexus. So those are going to be finishing up nearly around the same time. And but Cloak is finished. Banshees are out there. Where are they? Are they already in the base? No, they are not.
They are far north, making their way very far around. Probably just going to try and take out this Nexus that is just completed. Also checking to make sure there's no high yield taken yet.
Yeah, high yields can be very effective if they're not scouted. They can give you such a boost to your economy. And Dancing Hellion here is going to try to kill this probe. He is going to get that kill because that probe just stopped to sit in the fire. He must have been pretty cold.
Dual Banshees doing some nice damage to this Nexus so far. It's almost done with shields. Got one shot off on those Banshees, but nice job being able to pull an observer around as well. Is there an observer floating over the mineral line? Over the southern one, yes.
Yeah, there's just one observer out in the field now. His second one is Corona boosting out, so he should be okay. I like Kiwikaki's job by putting his observer right over top the mineral line. Here comes the probe transfer. That's a ton of probes being transferred. That's going to level out his economy pretty quick, but just as these Banshees look like they're about to come in, oh, the Stalkers are there to protect those, so he should be fine.
Stalker's moving in, but I don't see an observer with them. It's not with them.
Just about here. Now the Guardian Shield goes up, and these Banshees are going to die. That Guardian Shield is so effective. More reinforcing Stalkers. Tried to take out that Sentry, but he just did not quite get the kill. Now he does. Almost getting his Banshee killed, though, in that period of time.
So I don't think he's going to continue with these Banshees. The initial pressure didn't work. He does have another in the build queue, though, and here comes a second barracks also from Tarson. Tarson has gotten rid of his barracks, his bunker at the front of his base, and it looks like he's moving down to his natural expansion outside the front just to defend. I thought he was possibly going for a push there.
Here is the double tech lab once again from Tarson. I like this. Right after he takes his expansion, he goes and sets up his siege tanks, and then he gets double tech labs. He did this last game too, where he repairs his Banshees, gets the tech labs, gets stim, gets combat shield, and then does a timing push with that. And it seems to be very effective so far. I'm curious to see if he's going to do it yet again. Another scan just to try to take out an observer. Was there one there this time?
I don't think there was, but this time around, looks like there's not going to be any chances taken. Kiwi is already chrono boosting his first Phoenix out onto the field, and here come the Thermal Lances. It's a bit late. If a push comes, these Colossus are not going to be nearly as effective, but if he gets these Thermal Lances, that could really help with all those Marines in that unit composition.
Yeah, I don't think the push is coming. Stim just started now, so he's going to definitely want to wait until that happens. Meanwhile, he's got 4 Banshees, 3 of them with a ton of energy, floating down here south towards Kiwikaki's natural expansion. And where's that observer? Is that observer gone from here?
He just pulled it away to join his main force with these Colossi.
No,
he's going to have to pull it back.
Oh, he's going to lose so many probes here. Oh, goodness.
This could be devastating.
Those Banshees are getting tons of kills, about 8 kills on them in total. Each one got 2.